Hello YouTube divers, this is WaterDive 122 and I want to welcome you all to another special edition episode of Magic Metal Mondays. Today we are going to be doing another song ranking for you guys here today. We're going to be ranking my top 10 songs by one of my all-time favorite bands, R.E.M. Now, for those of you who are new to my channel, and I'm aware that there are some newcomers here, R.E.M. is one of my all-time favorite bands. They are my favorite band from the United States of America. They have a lot of great songs, like I've tackled on a lot of these bands here. R.E.M. is one of those bands that just has a very strong catalog and way too many great songs to just fit inside of a top 10. So my honorable mention section will be quite enormous. So we have 10 songs here that I'm going to be reviewing on my main list, and then of course 10 honorable mentions. Honestly, I did not want to do 10 honorable mentions, but there's just so many R.E.M. songs that I like that just couldn't quite make the list. So they're in the honorable mention section. So without further ado, let's get freaking into it with my 10th favorite song by R.E.M. Number 10 is South Central Rain from the 1984 album Reckoning. Now, I do have to say, I do prefer live versions of this song. Like, there are a lot of R.E.M. songs in which I prefer the live versions, but South Central Rain, I like the Reckoning version. It's really great. The music video is amazing. I just love it when there's four guys in dimly lit rooms and you have Mike Mills and Peter Buck and Bill Berry behind like these shadow casting, like, I don't know what you call it, pillars, and Michael Stipe is just right out there singing into a mic with his hands holding onto his headphones. It's just a great video. And the song itself is just so somber, but not in like a ballad type of way. It's one of those unique ballads-ish that I've heard in recent memory, and for that reason, it's easily my favorite song off of Reckoning. It's such a classic, and in my opinion, this was really the song which made R.E.M. a little bit more popular, because there were a lot of great songs on their debut album, Murmur, but here they just take it to a whole nother level. Well, not in terms of the actual album itself, but with South Central Rain, it's just a great listen. It's a great song. I love that song. It's really great. Moving on to number 9, we got Night Swimming from the 1992 album Automatic for the People. This is one of those R.E.M. classics that is on Automatic for the People. Automatic for the People is widely considered to be R.E.M.'s best album. It's not my favorite R.E.M. album, but it's up there. Now, I understand, this is, in my opinion, R.E.M.'s black album in terms of songs in terms of well-known songs on here, like Everybody Hurts and like Man on the Moon, which we'll get to later. And, of course, this song here with Night Swimming. Night Swimming is such a beautiful song. Yeah, it's mainly just Mike Mills playing the piano and Michael Stipe singing, but it's just so pleasant to listen to. I mean, everything from the piano, the soft melodramatic pianos, to the amazing English horn solos near the end, if that's even an English horn solos, to the absolutely mellow and just emotional voice from Michael Stipe. Michael Stipe is, in my opinion, one of the best and one of the most underrated rock singers of all time. He, in my opinion, does not get enough credit compared to other bands in the rock and roll genre, like Freddie Mercury, like Robert Plant. I mean, and I know that's saying a lot when you're talking about Stipe, because those two, Mercury and Plant, are just absolutely legends. But I would have to say that Michael Stipe has one heck of a voice too. He's truly unique, and in my opinion, there's not another singer that sounds just like him. It's just like, if you hear his voice, you know it's R.E.M. It's just it's great. And Night Swimming is, in my opinion, a great example of that. If you know, with Michael Stipe, it's just his voice is just so smooth, so warm, just so inviting. And in my opinion, that's one of the things that makes R.E.M. so enjoyable to me, is that Michael Stipe's voice. He just has, I mean, I could rant all day about how much I love Michael Stipe and his amazing singing voice, but we got we got 8 other songs to tackle here, so let's get right into it, shall we? So number 8 is Green Grow the Rushes from 1985's Fables of the Reconstruction. This is definitely my favorite song from the Fables of the Reconstruction album, even though Driver 8 is extremely close, which we'll get to later on in the video. But Green Grow the Rushes, I loved it the first time I heard it, and sure, Michael Stipe is not exactly at his most energetic and not at his most, like, he wasn't in his prime, in my opinion, on these first couple of albums. But like I said with Night Swimming, his voice is just so soothing. It's just so warm, so inviting. It's just a great thing to listen to. And then, of course, you've got the amazing guitar work by Peter Buck. In my opinion, Peter Buck basically was the like the Jimmy Page, if you will, of indie rock and folk rock and stuff like that, like jangly stuff, arpeggiated stuff. He's just an absolute master of doing arpeggiated stuff, 12-string and acoustic, and he's just an all-around amazing guitar player. While he doesn't really have a lot of solos, I would dare any guitar player that is rising up to the occasions, like if you want to do some arpeggiated exercises, go ahead and learn this song, because Green Grow the Rushes is just, I don't know how to even describe it. It's folky, it's R.E.M. being R.E.M., but just in a little bit of a nutshell, if you will. And although the song might not be as heavy as some of their other songs that we're gonna get to here, it's still a great song to listen to, and in my opinion, it's the best song from Fables of the Reconstruction. It's an amazing track. I love it. Now we're moving on to number 7. We're talking about Imitation of Life off of the album Reveal. Easily my favorite song off of Reveal. I mean, is it even a competition at this point? This song was very special to me, because it not only brings back a little bit of like nostalgia, I guess, from the 2001 era. Now, of course, I was not alive in 2001, but it does bring back like a lot of memories, like in the 2000s. It definitely feels like a 2000s type of music, a 2000s era type of song, whatever you say. Now, I think the version that's off of Reveal is absolutely amazing, although I don't really care for that synthesizer bridge part near the end. That's why I prefer the live from Austin, Texas version of this song. But all in all, Imitation of Life is just, what a song this is. It's an absolute masterpiece, and in my opinion, it's an underrated R.E.M. classic. It's just that good. Now, moving on to number 6, Fall on Me from Life's Rich Pageant from 1986. Now, I talked about this when I did my top 5 albums from 1986 video, and Life's Rich Pageant was here at number 4, or was there at number 4, rather. And Fall on Me was my favorite song on it, and it still is. This was one of the first R.E.M. songs I ever checked out, and honestly, it has just lived up so well. It has aged just like fine wine, as many people would say it is. As many people would say, for that matter. The vocals from Michael Stipe is just great. The production, especially the drums and the guitar, is just so up front here, and same thing with Mike Mills' backing vocals. I love Mike Mills as a backing vocalist. He's basically one of the core pieces of R.E.M's sound. And here on Follow Me, he has like this little verse near the end, and it's just so great to listen to. And speaking of backing vocals, Bill Berry actually has some singing parts on here, like in the chorus when he says "It's going to fall," he sings that part. And in my opinion, he's got a good voice too, atop from his amazing drumming. Now, I don't really have any issues with this album, except no, not with this album. Um, with this song rather. I don't really have any issues with this song. It's just one of those songs where you can listen to again and again and never get bored from it. So with that said, Follow Me coming in here at number 6. Now, for my number 5 and my number 4 pick, these are back-to-back songs off of the same album. So I'm going to talk about them both here, but I have my reasons on why I like one above the other. So number 5 is Orange Crush, and number 4 is Stand, both released off of the 1988 album Green. Now, I prefer Stand over Orange Crush, mainly because, like with Fall on Me, this was one of the first R.E.M. songs I ever checked out. And honestly, I really enjoy it. Yeah, the lyrics are a little bit cheesy, but you could basically say that about the entire album. It's their poppiest album to date. And with the exception of Orange Crush. Orange Crush is, in my opinion, one of the classic sounding R.E.M. songs, but on a very, very, very poppy record. And a lot of fans love it. A lot of fans view it as a classic. You see it a lot on greatest hits CDs from the band. You see it a lot on you see it ranked high on song rankings by R.E.M., including here. And it absolutely lives up to the hype. Orange Crush, absolute classic. But the only reason why I prefer Stand is because it's a little bit closer to my heart, and it was a pivotal song when it comes to my journey with R.E.M. So with that said, Orange Crush here at number 5, and Stand here at number 4. Now we get into the controversial area. 2 of these next 3 picks are absolute classics when it comes to R.E.M. And one of the picks is just absolutely controversial. You're probably not going to have any idea why I picked them here, but we're going to get into that. So number 3 is Man on the Moon from 1992's Automatic for the People. I'm pretty sure you thought I was going to pick Everybody Hurts. While I do enjoy that song, sadly it did not make the cut. Because, honestly, I think that song, as great as it is a little bit overplayed. And I guess you could say the same thing about Man on the Moon. But Man on the Moon is just executed so much better. I love the bass lines by Mike Mills. I love the chorus. And if you don't believe me, I did a music video on Man on the Moon, so you could go check that out if you want to. It's just a great song to listen to. It's one of those classic R.E.M. songs where you can listen to again and again and just never get tired. I mean, I've said that pretty much a lot in this video, but it's true. R.E.M. is just that enjoyable to me. So with that said, Man on the Moon coming in here at number 3, and if you don't believe me on my suggestions that this song is just absolutely amazing, then once again, I did a music video for this song. I did a cover of this song, rather. You can find that underneath my music video playlist. And now we go on to number 2, which is widely regarded as the best song by R.E.M., and I absolutely understand why. We are talking about Losing My Religion from the 1991 album Out of Time. This is probably a lot of people's number 1 for R.E.M., and I totally understand why. I mean, everything from the iconic mandolin riffs to Michael Stipe's amazing vocals, to the iconic lyrics, to the amazing song structures, to the amazing music video that came along with this. Everything about the song is just amazing. I mean, they play it live. They've played it live ever since. It's just the fans love it. Everyone knows it. You hear it on the radio like 1,000 times a day. It's a great song. And objectively, this would be the best R.E.M. song. But I have my reason why I have another song that's off of Out of Time, which is one of my all-time favorite albums, above Losing My Religion. But before we get to there, we're going to go through a couple of the honorable mentions. So we got Supernatural, Super Serious, Strange Currencies, Superman, Flowers of Guatemala, Living Well is the Best Revenge, Everybody Hurts, of course. Then I would have Finest Work Song, The One I Love, It's the End of the World as We Know It. And there was one other song that I left off this list. I can't really think of it right now. But still. Enough of that. So I left off a lot of great R.E.M. songs that would definitely make my top 20. For sure. But because R.E.M. just has so many great songs, I had to keep them off the list. Now, we get to my number one favorite R.E.M. song of all time, and I know you're probably thinking, why would you have this at number one? And I know the folks over at R.E.M. would probably say the same thing, because the band was absolutely critical of this song. It is the most populous song from the 1991 album Out of Time. It is none other than Shiny Happy People, featuring the one and only Kate Pearson from the B-52s. Now, I know y'all are probably blown away, but this was the song that introduced me to R.E.M. This was the song that turned me onto the band. This was the song that pretty much opened up a whole new world of music for me. Now, a little bit of story time here. How I discovered R.E.M. was just a little bit out of this world. I first saw them on Sesame Street when they were doing a parody of this song entitled Furry Happy Monsters. All you Sesame Street fans out there, yeah, you know it. I've loved the band ever since. And then this song came into my life, and then it just introduced me to R.E.M. Like, this, in my opinion, was a band that was not so poppy, but just had a very unique style. And I love that about music. I love it when bands have their own unique style, and they're not trying to rip off someone else. I mean, and then you add in the beautiful vocals of Kate Pearson, who in my opinion is one of the best female singers of all time. You got yourself a great mix of music here. The music video is great. What more do you want me to say about that? The riffs is just so iconic, and I'm very sad that the band was so critical of this song. Like, Michael Stipe genuinely did not like this song. They never played it live. I think they only played it live like once or twice. And that's a real shame in my opinion, because this is just a phenomenal song. A phenomenal song. I don't care what any of you classic R.E.M. fans say. I love this song, and without this song, chances are I probably would not love R.E.M. the way that I do. So with that said, Shiny Happy People here at number 1. So with that said, that concludes this special edition episode of Magic Metal Mondays. Thank you so much for watching, my fellow YouTube divers. This is Water Dive 122 signing out, ready to dive and more fun on YouTube. Thanks for watching.